A few weeks ago on this channel, I did a video about the truth about Donald Sterling, and I feel like I very accurately predicted what was going to happen to a certain degree and talked about the forces that were really at work and really at play here. I'll put that video down in the description box below. It's because of that video that I come on here today and am able to basically say, see, I told you so. I knew this was coming. I told you this was coming, and now you can heap your praise upon me. If you don't believe me, check out the video down below in the description box. However, with all of that being said, even I couldn't have imagined just how great of a glorious victory this would be for both Donald Sterling and the NBA. I knew both of these sides were going to come out of this smelling like roses, but my God, I couldn't even have imagined to the level or degree that both of these sides would come out smelling roses. Only in America could a guy say some of the most idiotically ridiculous racist things imaginable and make billions, literally billions of dollars because of it. That saying of controversy creates cash definitely holds true in the case of Donald Sterling. Only in America could a sports league, an organization like the NBA, have this type of scandal hit, be able to sit there and put up that good public front and come up with some swift, decisive action. We're going to suspend the 80-year-old with prostate cancer for life and ban him for the league forever. Ooh, because that's going to teach him a lesson. We're going to find the guy worth about $2 billion, $2.5 million, because, again, we're teaching him a lesson. That's not going to be tolerated or allowed in today's NBA. And what does that do? That allows Adam Silver to have his first real decisive moment to really establish that he's the HNIC of the National Basketball Association. It allows everybody involved with the league, the fans, the sports media, to feel good about it and say, hey, you know what? This guy is trash. This guy is garbage. He's a terrible owner, has been forever. They need to get rid of him. They got the opportunity, and by God, bless the NBA for what they did. They were decisive, and they did the right thing. And all the while, not only does the NBA win on that end, but they have ulterior motives, and they damn good and well know it. They know that as the Magic Johnsons and the Oprah Winfreys and the LeBron Jameses, and God forbid, even the Michael Jeffrey Jordan start to chime in on this, the NBA knows that all that's going to do is artificially inflate the sale price of the organization through the goddamn roof. And as Donald Sterling continues to put up a fight and says, I'm not going down without a fight, and I'm not selling this team against my will, he also is playing people like a fiddle. He, along with the NBA, are playing everybody like puppets. They're pulling the strings because they are the puppet masters. I hope you understand this. And he is also helping, along with the NBA, to really drive up the sale price of the Los Angeles Clippers. And that apparently is exactly what happened. I was anticipating a deal maybe with a maximum value of perhaps $1 to $1.2 billion, which would still be a ridiculous purchase price for the Clippers, maybe double to triple what that organization is actually worth. But I could not believe my ears and my eyes when I heard and saw yesterday that apparently there's been a winning bid put in to buy the Los Angeles Clippers from the Sterling family, and it was none other than former Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer, who has put in a bid of $2 billion, with a B again, $billion, to purchase the Los Angeles Clippers. This is the second biggest purchase price for a major sports franchise in North American history, only behind the purchase of the Los Angeles Dodgers, which just recently happened, for $2.1 billion. Let's examine this for a second and see just how ridiculous this purchase price for the Clippers, this bid is, and how much this really makes Donald Sterling and the NBA look like geniuses, look like the puppet masters, and makes the other people involved with the NBA, the players, the coaches, the sports media, the fans, look like morons and idiots. Donald Sterling, through this whole controversy, was able to sit there and take a team that he purchased in 1981 for $12.5 million, with an M dollars, million, and 33 years later is about to sell his team for $2 billion. Now, when the Los Angeles Dodgers were purchased for $2.1 billion, this is an organization with championship history and pedigree. One of the most well-known brands in Major League Baseball. One of the most popular teams throughout the entire country, playing in the second biggest media market. Oh, and by the way, in their own stadium. The Los Angeles Clippers are second fiddle for basketball in LA, and second fiddle by a large, varied, wide margin. So second fiddle, in fact, that they share a venue with the Los Angeles Lakers in the Staples Center, and everybody views the Staples Center as the home of the Los Angeles Lakers. So Steve Ballmer, the former CEO of Microsoft, has agreed to buy a team with no championship history or long legacy of tradition of anything other than completely sucking, that plays second fiddle in its own city and doesn't even have its own arena, for and I emphasize again, $2 billion. Clearly, Donald Sterling wins in this whole situation. Oh my God, people view me as a racist. I'm an ignorant old senile fuck. Let me care about that as I'm counting my money in the bank and it has 10 plus digits. Unbelievable. Donald Sterling was able to take some of the most ridiculously racist comments I have heard in some time and turn it into a $1 billion+ profit windfall for himself. Donald Sterling, clearly big winner here. The NBA comes out smelling like roses here, both from a public relations standpoint and from a business standpoint. From a public relations standpoint, they were able to put up this bullshit front that they are not going to allow this and they're not going to tolerate this, and this type of language and this type of behavior will not be acceptable by anybody, most especially owners in the National Basketball Association. Everybody can feel good about it, have confidence in Adam Silver, and sing kumbaya, kumbaya fucking yeah. All the while, the Milwaukee Bucks were just sold a little over a month ago. The deal was finalized, and the price on that was about $550 million. An organization that has previously won an NBA championship. An organization with a much richer tradition than the Los Angeles Clippers. And, oh, by the way, they actually have their own stadium, arena. Now, they play in a much smaller media market. I grant that. The Bucks today aren't very good. I grant you that. But they were just sold for $550 million. Now, the NBA, a month later, gets a bid for an organization that in every way, shape, or form imaginable, except for market size, is far inferior to the Milwaukee Bucks, and has now popped them off for $2 billion with the B dollars. Billion, and I emphasize again, people, $2 billion. They almost got the Los Angeles fucking Dodgers purchase price for the shitty ass Los Angeles Clippers. What does this mean? It means that the NBA wins from a business standpoint too, because now they get a buzzy name like Steve Ballmer involved, and they say, well, he's going to come in and change things, and the Clippers are going to matter, and skip and whoop-de-woo. Now, the NBA also is able to sit there and drive up the purchase price for other organizations that may be sold in the future. If the freaking, let's say, Milwaukee Bucks sell for $550 million, now a month later, you've gotten $1.5 billion more for a freaking shitty-ass organization like the Los Angeles Clippers. Imagine if an organization like the Chicago Bulls or the freaking New York Knicks, one of these premier franchises, or the Miami Heat, or the San Antonio Spurs. What happens when one of those teams hits the market? The NBA could sit there and really hold people hostage. The owners looking to sell can hold people hostage and say, well, if they paid this much for the Clippers, I'm expecting $2.5 billion, $3 billion, $3.5 billion, maybe $4 billion. So the NBA wins from a PR and publicity standpoint, and they win from a business standpoint. As they drive up the purchase price of one team, it drives up the purchase price of any future teams. Now you could sit there and maybe have a situation where Steve Ballmer, if he maybe wants to try and move a team to Seattle, now the NBA has that leverage too against the city of LA to get an arena done. What I'm getting at here is bottom line, people. It is time to stop being so goddamn naive with how things really work in the 21st century in the United States of America. Donald Sterling took incredibly racist, incendiary, idiotic remarks and laughed all the way to the bank. The NBA took those same racist, incendiary, ignorant remarks and is laughing all the way to the bank while smiling in your face and you're smiling in their face because they just sat there and pulled off one of the great heists and scams in the history of North American professional sports. You learn the lesson ultimately that big money, even when you think they lose and even when they seem like losers, always wins in this country. And this whole situation between Donald Sterling and the NBA clearly bears that out. Sterling wins big. The NBA wins big, even bigger. NBA fans and the league as a whole, in terms of the other teams and the players in particular, not so much. Now you should really understand the truth about Donald Sterling and this whole situation. If you don't get it now, shamefully, you probably never will.